Fellas,
What's up?
What's going on, B?
what's poppin'?
Ain't shit, blessed.
Yo, it's been 10 years, guys. Going on it.
Yeah, we almost there.
Y'all look good.
Shit.
You too, bro.
Yeah, like that.
Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Nah, I'm glad you guys came, man. Today we're just gonna talk about a little bit about, the season, our senior year, and just kind of like how it got started, you know what I mean? Not just playing basketball, but like how we all became friends and just the bond and just the beginning of how everything started. So, yeah, man, Z, you want to take it?
Yeah, I got you. So, like, our first joint, right? Question off the top. How do we feel about the start of our season? Like, you know, Keys was implementing something that I think most of us weren't in favor of, especially everybody that was seniors, because we were returning 7 to 8 seniors that year. So we had that 5 in, 5 out, if y'all remember.
Yeah, I remember.
So, and our first game was McMahon,
Right.
and we doing 5 in, 5 out. So how did y'all feel about that coming into?
It's trash. It's terrible. I think that, especially having 7 seniors that were predicted to, or that had varsity experience. I can speak for me. I played since my sophomore year. I started really playing my junior year and obviously senior year, so I had experience. And I felt as, you had, guys like obviously Roy, a 4-year starter, Jeremy, a 3-year starter, you yourself, you was like a 2.5, 3-year starter. You have MJ, you have, Strap came senior year, but he was already projected to be on the varsity because of the summer runs we had at McMahon. So they already knew who he was. So I felt he already had Devontae. He played varsity as a junior as well. So he already had a squad. I think he was just shooken up a little bit because of, I guess, the loss of Steven Enoch. Lost to that, you know what I'm saying? That's what made him all right. Let's do this. But it was horrible. I hated it. I think it wasn't the right play. What do you think?
Me personally, it was my first year with the guys, and it was a new system, new style of ball, just getting adjusted to everybody, everything. They kind of like threw me in there, like B said. I was a starter early on, and a lot of adjustments had to be made. You know what I'm saying? Because coming from the South, from Georgia, I'm gonna be real. I really didn't play too much often. You know what I'm saying? So like, getting thrown into a system is like trying to get your feet wet. With a new group of guys, and I really didn't have a slow start to the season. I felt like maybe that first game, shake it off a little bit, but I feel like I had a decent start, and it got kind of choppy for me. But even with the coaching, there was a lot of like, Keys kind of like.
Yeah, some lapses.
I can't say, I'm not no coach, so I don't know how it is to coach a young. And plus, we had a lot of talent on the team, so it's just like.
Yeah.
We don't really know. And then, we got the football players coming in, Devontae, Germ, everybody. So it's like trying to, from fall league to regular season, you got to like figure the system out. And I don't think he was able to do that properly. Even though we had a great start, like we was undefeated, first 10 games.
Yeah.
So it was like, other than that, I didn't think we, obviously we didn't finish how we wanted to, but I thought like the beginning of the season, it was actually pretty good, there was definitely a lot of things he could have did different. I felt like he could have played players way more, got different lineups and groups, so that we're all like used to playing with each other a lot more, you can't just throw different players in with different groups and, different play styles. So it's like, other than that, I didn't really have nothing crazy to like really elaborate on as far as how the beginning, because we were winning, so it was like, at the end of the day, the W was next to our column, so it was hard to negate like that Keys was doing something wrong until they start going downhill for us. So
Go ahead, MJ. Get a little point. To start, it was, it was fun. Even though I wasn't playing much, I was having fun because, we was winning.
Word.
So to see my brothers happy, and, we was having fun in practice, just everything we was going through, and it was just I looked at it a lot different than obviously you fellas did, because you guys, like you said, Brian, sophomore year, I'm on the bench. Junior year, I'm on the bench. Senior year, still riding the bench. Like,
Word.
and it's like, I remember the first game, McMahon, he literally throws me in 2-2-1 full court press. I remember Dre knocks the ball out of bounds. Next thing you know, Roy's coming back in for me. Like, I didn't make a mistake. Didn't even get the chance to make a mistake. Didn't see the floor the rest of that game. And that was in the first quarter. So, and then, just throughout those first, 9, 10 games, he would just try to put me in during garbage minutes and stuff like that. And, like, I started saying no, because that, I just didn't feel like that's who I was and what I deserved. I sat there for 3 years. I put in, my time. I, put in practice. It wasn't, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm a bad player. So I'm just sitting there really trying to figure out why I'm not playing. Like, and I remember when I quit, your dad even like called my mom and wanted to do like a meeting with the principal.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to set it up and everything. I was like, no.
I didn't even know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I had no idea to this day. You just telling me that.
Yeah,
That's
your dad told my mom like he was going to set up a meeting with Principal Roberts, and I told him, I was like, no, thank you, because it's a waste. Like, not gonna make like keys that's not gonna make him play me. And, like, I don't want something like that to happen just for me to play. Like, it's just pride shit. But
no, yeah, for a that's facts.
But yeah, like that system and everything, it was pretty terrible. Especially like, we just had a different team than the year before, like you guys said. Especially like the year before, we were able to look to go down low with Steven. We had basically a 7-footer down low.
Yeah.
And, a year after, it's just pretty much a bunch of guards and wing play. Like, Roy he's a big, but he's still a wing player. Like, he could dribble the ball, he could shoot the three.
He was all around guy.
All around guy. Like, we didn't really have to dominate in the we dominated in the paint because Zaire, we got to the cup, but I'm like talking about like throw it down to the low block and go to, like, we got guys who could get to the paint. So, it was just a different team. I don't think he really like Matt said, it didn't start showing until we started losing. Like, when you're 10-0, 9-0, coaches obviously, he get credit. You winning. When you start losing, like, it just shows that's where coaching character is built. Like, what adjustments are you gonna make? And I wasn't there anymore at that time, but I had my fun with you guys. And fall league, like Matt said, the football players aren't there, so I feel like that team we had in the fall league, like we had chemistry, like we was running, like running and like,
I agree.
Feel me? We was doing things, like we went to the fall league chip, like we had fun, like we still did everything we did in the regular season in fall league, just
Just to knock on that point, like, and I want to ask, you ask Strap something. You actually answered this earlier, like, how was it coming in senior year? Like, first of all, like, everybody don't know, this is really my cousin right here. How was it really, like, when I first heard you was moving back, I'm like, wow, he moving back, and then you play ball. I knew you was an athlete, but I didn't know you was actually like, I was like, let me see if he be like that. I seen him play, I'm like, yo, he can really play, Yeah. And then, like, the decision making of you going to McMahon or Kai at the time, because you could have went to McMahon because your grandmother lives in the area where you can go to either school. What made you pick Norwalk High? And why did you pick Norwalk High? Did you know the talent? Did you what did you know about it?
To be honest, I really didn't have an idea, other than the ears around me, my siblings. They kind of like told me, even going to the open runs with you guys and my brothers, like I said, they kind of told me like, yo, if you want a chance at winning, go to Norwalk High, but if you want to just go do your thing, go to McMahon. And at no scale other than maybe AAU growing up was I like even a major type of player. So it was never about being a major player,
Yeah.
I'm at any point that any team that I'm gonna join, I'm always gonna be the new guy. So you really don't get that type of respect until you really show that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like I just want to play ball. I want to win and have fun.
Yeah.
So it made sense. And realistically, Norwalk High was right there. So it wasn't that hard of a choice to really make. Especially with playing with the guys on the summer league, I could tell, it's levels to players, and Brian McMahon, they had a young core, so it was like I could go play with some kids who really haven't really peaked yet, or I could go play with some, a few dogs, so, and that's, coming from the South is just, I was always like a gritty player, so it's like, why not go play with some dogs, so it wasn't really that hard of a transition for me, even though I don't know nobody other than you, obviously, at the time, but it wasn't that hard of a transition. I know the type of person I am, so I'm never one of those people who try and big dog or, like, it was always like, just come in, I'm a chill person, so it's like, how could you not get along with me? You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to tell you how to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to, do what I do. Like, I was a two-way player, so it was like, I'm not the main scorer. I don't need to be the main, but I know how effective I could be on any team I get on, So whether it was, even if I was a practice player, I know how effective I could be. You know what I'm saying? You went to college with me, and you see how I turn it up. Like, I make the bench. You know what I'm saying? I'll make the bench look better than the starters. You feel me? When I'm in that unit, so it's like that's the only impact I had in my mind that I wanted to make. So it wasn't really. It was like taking a gamble. You know what I'm saying? Taking a risk. Who knows what Noah Kai? Y'all could have still been good, whether I was there or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it really didn't. Like I said, it was like taking a gamble, and I guess I gambled, right on the right team, because we had a better success than McMahon did, most definitely that year, and it, the numbers don't lie. Like,
it translated.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt like I came in with a good group of guys, so it's like I wasn't upset at the decision. Even though we didn't win in the end, we had, we all have our locker room problems, but I wasn't affected by none of that stuff, and it's just, I know what I'm here to do, at the end of the day, so like, we just gonna keep it basketball, like that's how I looked at it. So it was never really like a hard transition. I think the hardest thing for me in the whole transition of me coming up north was just moving in general, just, you know what I'm saying, just out of nowhere. It was like kind of like a random thing, more or less, for me. So it was just like everything got to happen like this. So you can't wait to make a decision. Everything got to kind of just,
Got you. I like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like he was the worst coach, like, because I think he did some great things with us coming into before the season even started. Like, if certain people, like some of y'all remember, like when we did the Iona camp, like when we went to do that, like that was huge. That was dope, because we got exposure with a bunch of teams from New York, Staten Island, New Jersey, upstate New York, upstate Connecticut. Like, it was a real broad spectrum of teams, and we got a lot of experience figuring out how to play against some people we ain't never scouted. Putting together that understanding that, all right, like, we could do this, we could get this out the way, and we gotta lose together as well. Like, that portion of his thought process, getting us up there,
making you uncomfortable.
Making sure, and like, everybody wasn't having rides. Like, he was making sure people get there. Like, I respected him for that, like 100%. Because if we didn't have that, I feel like in certain games when we was on our 10-0 stretch, we'd have struggled, just because we didn't have that little exposure of adversity we needed to get through from that little trial of going to Iona. That was like a big one. Like, and then when we get into our summer league was like, that shit was exciting. It was fun.
Super.
We was playing basketball at a high level, putting out a high clip, and we had to go out there and compete. And he sat there on the side watching those games, seeing what we doing, and we had the same success summer league translated right into the regular season. So it kind of baffled me a little bit when we come into the season, in the first game, you wanted to make this 5 in, 5 out, almost like you wanted to be in a rebuild.
3 minutes.
Yeah, almost like you wanted to be in a rebuilding stage.
Yeah.
When
It's like a slap in the face, like and then like junior year coming in, like you were talking about junior year, we were like the second best defensive team in the conference that year behind Greenwich.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we played our 3-2, but we had Steven at this time, and our 2-3 was aggressive, like very aggressive.
You could.
Yeah, you got Tommy at the top on the wing. I'm playing the wing, and then you got Steven in the back, Roy, and then Bryant. It's like we're stretching that. It was a stretch 2-3. So that on top of that, we lose Steven, yes, but that shouldn't affect us coming into the senior year.
No.
So when he was going with this mentality of 5 in, 5 out, and I'm like, wow, like, do you trust the 7 seniors that you're returning? Because you know, Devontae was a key piece, and Devontae, he didn't play our junior year only because, you know, football was his pride and joy.
But him not realizing that Devontae was playing at the Carper with us,
and
with Bub.
Devontae knew everything about our game. So like, Devontae, it's having IQ is like, okay, do you know who you're playing with?
Yeah.
Because IQ is also, you know, adapting to situations, knowing what's going on, making the right decision. And like for me, if I'm being like honest with myself, high school, like I was a reaction player, and most people knew that. Like I would make mistakes, 100%. But my big thing with me was I'm a real energy based player. Yeah. Like if I could get a ooh and ah and get that energy up, like our bench is the gym bench is jumping, and them oohs and ahs. But for me, you have to gamble that and make bad decisions to see if they can turn out good in the game for like hype. As far as, and what I mean by hype is turning around momentum. Yeah. Because momentum for us was huge. Like if we get a couple layups and it's energy off that, sky's the limit for us. Because we was a run and gun team. Like I don't honestly West Hill was a great team.
100%.
Great team. Not dismissing anything they did. Run and gun though, up and down, I really don't see any team that year competing with us run and gun.
One thing I say about Keys is he allowed us to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches, if you look in the season, because they didn't probably have that type of team, right? The Fairfield Ludlows, the Richfield, the Darien, the Staples, Wilton. They didn't have those type of teams to do the run and gun. But with us, I remember I was talking to Coach White. I saw him a couple months ago. I was just like, did you guys ever really want to give us like plays? Like, we had it and we never ran. He was like, honestly, you guys are so fun to watch. We just let y'all do your thing. And I thought that was so dope because it's like we really was that team. Again, West Hill was a great team.
Yeah, they take nothing away from them.
Nothing from them.
Nothing. Cause
undefeated in the regular season.
Yeah, and they still got the win on us.
100%.
I'm just saying at the fact of when we played, the pace of the game was a half-court game.
100%.
It was never a up and down type of game when we played, just because of whether that was a plan or it just the game transitioned that way. But to segue back, I didn't think it was a good idea as far as his thought process of the 5 in, 5 out.
No, 100%.
But that was my viewpoint on it. But so another thing I had a question on for you guys. So we get to our midway point. Our midway point is we're hitting 10-0, right?
Yeah.
We on top of Mount Rushmore.
12.
Yep. We thinking we the shit. We we just we playing. Yep. We beating the team.
Instagram booming.
Yep.
Put a picture.
Yep. Posting. Yep. You got the gray background and stuff. When the Instagram was just pictures and stuff, you ain't had the videos.
Yeah, you stupid. I remember that. That's crazy.
It was just pictures at that time. You can't put no videos up. That's the old joint where you had the color joint where it was like all the colors on the spectrum shit. It was a different time. But
that's funny.
At that time, we get 10-0, and Like, I just want to put this out there for younger players. I'm gonna give my perspective, and I want y'all to feed off that. We were 10-0, but every team isn't gonna be roses and bubbles. Everything is great, and I just want younger players to understand that when you get into a situation where you're playing on a team where you guys got a lot of talent, it's not about you. It's about the team's success. And the biggest thing is buying into your role. Like, that's like one of the hugest thing, the biggest thing about the team aspect when you get to that point. And, a lot of people don't know, and, rightfully so, they're not going to know just because our stuff stayed in the locker room, it stayed in practice, but, we're having a conversation about it, so I'm going to just talk about some stuff. But, we had our issues as far as people like me.
The egos.
Yeah, egos was big. Certain people didn't want to buy into a role, and we had conflict in practice. And granted, we got to that 10-0, but that 10-0 was a real struggle and a grind.
It was.
And for everybody sitting here, because you was there till 10.
Yeah.
Everybody saw that. Like, the practices was rough. We had.
I remember towel slides. I mean, people don't understand what came into that 10-0 run. I mean, the running we had to do.
Yeah.
The just the grind of it, man. I mean, Sunday practices.
Yeah.
And I remember this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was a grind. It really was. And just to kind of comment on what Z said, like, yeah, like anytime you're on any undefeated team, especially at that time, there's always gonna be fights. There's always gonna be, disagreements, and with the coaches. I mean, there's times where coaches get on you because you're lazy in practice. So like that came with some pain.
Yeah.
It did.
But it's important and I'm bringing this stuff up because it's important for the young players to understand that you gotta have struggles to get to that success. And if you on a team that has good players, find your role. Find what you do that's going to benefit the team for you guys to succeed moving forward. And in that time frame, we had ups, downs, but in the games, we put them shits aside and figure it out to get dubs. Because at the end of the day, that's what I was worried about, and I know that's what everybody else was worried about.
100%. I think dubs. I mean, we just wanted to win. I mean, we would talk about getting a ring. We wanted to win. I remember, it's funny because I actually went to West Hill my freshman year, and West Hill was good at the time. It was good. They had some top players, and at the time, me and Jeremiah, we was real cool. And he was a player coming in. They knew he was going to be a star, and I remember him. I was going to transfer to North High. I remember after freshman year, I didn't know who was coming. I didn't know German all them was coming. I had no idea who was there. And he was just like, yo, we're gonna be FCX team. You better not leave. I'm like, North High gonna be straight. Watch. And we meet. And that's that moment right there was just like, wow. Even though we lost, I was like, man, my man's made it. I made, like, it was crazy how everything kind of glued together. How I met you guys sophomore year. That experience alone was dope to me.
You know what's the wilder joint to add to that, right? Is Keys came from West Hill.
He did.
That's the biggest thing about that.
Yeah.
He was an assistant at West Hill and then came to the High, and then we're meeting.
Everything connected.
Yeah.
It's funny, the principal Roberts at the time, he
was
came from West Hill.
he came from West Hill
He
too.
saw me
Yes,
like, yo,
yeah.
you live in North? I'm like, yeah. I just wanted
Yeah.
to class. No, I still live in Stanford.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like that thing was,
I remember
it came full circle. It was definitely something full circle. But, how did y'all feel about that halfway point in what it took to get to that 10-0?
Man, honestly, early on in the season, we struggled, but I mean, we fought every game, and it showed our resilience. So even in our first loss, like, that shit was like kind of crazy because I'm like,
That just hurt.
we about to lose. Like, it's
Yeah.
we done fought back so many games, down 14, 15, almost 20 points, and we came out on top. And then realistically, as you said, like, throughout the season, we have that locker room conflict, you know.
Yeah.
The egos get in the way, and you can tell it's becoming a problem. Before it wasn't as much of because we had so much talent.
Yeah.
So when we're playing these, I don't want to say mediocre, you know, not so mediocre teams, because realistically, I don't think there was teams better than us. I think we probably had the best team in the conference. You know, like in my eyes.
Yeah.
We did.
Even
I
though
think that
we
we had more,
and we lost to West Hill almost
Yeah.
every time.
No, we did.
And I still
lose
felt
every
like we
time.
was
Oh,
still
yeah.
better than we never
Yeah.
beat West Hill, and I felt like we went in their house and was smashing on them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they just made a late push and ended up on top. And
Yeah. It was a lot of mistakes.
you know, I sat the fourth.
Yeah.
You know, and parents is in the crowd
talking
like, "Yo, why you not
Yeah.
playing?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like,
Listen, playing time was funny with me too that game. Like I played, it was an in and out thing. Yeah.
And you know, we want to win these games, and you know, obviously, you know, you want a player like me out there. You want, you know, some of the best players on the team out there. But the egos definitely like a trickling effect, because we didn't lose not just one game and then went on another streak. We were losing games and like, yo,
Yeah.
we lost to
Spurts.
Wilton,
Yep.
got torched by Wilton.
He was like, "Yo, who wants the DJ? Who wants the D man shit?"
Feel me? So it just not even just them. And then when we went to states,
Yep.
we got torched.
Yeah.
We kept it close, but we got
Kobe.
torched. We had a bad scouting report, and we got torched. So it's like stuff like that is just
Yeah. When we played Kobe, that was
it's tough, you know. Like especially when you start off the season and you feel like things are going downhill. I don't think we just had the resilience to really shake back from what we were in the beginning of the year, you know. And it's not all has to do with it's players too.
No, it's players. I think
You
that's
got,
what. Yeah.
like
yeah.
at some point we got to take accountability about. I know I didn't show up
Yeah.
a few games,
100%.
so
yeah.
you know we got to take accountability as players. Us being young, it happens, you know.
For sure.
So those type of things you just got to learn from. Obviously, it being our senior season is just tough because you don't get another chance at it, you know.
You don't.
So,
I remember when we played Crosby in that buzzer rang.
oh my God.
I was just like, wow, this is it. It's over.
Yo.
And I hugged my dad. I'm like, yo,
Yo.
Done.
You know what's wild? I didn't like FCX. That one like mesmerized me. Like that one, I cried at FCX. That one fucking hurt.
Yeah.
That shit fucking hurt.
And
I
I
mean,
want-
not everybody did, but
No,
I know Roy. I know me. Yo.
to add to, you know, obviously I wasn't on the team no more, but you know I went to the game. I'm always support my brothers, and when niggas lost on the way home in the car, like I started crying because like I kind of felt like I quit on my brothers too early. Didn't really stick by y'all sides, and like so you know that loss definitely hurt me just as much as it hurt y'all. So I just want y'all to know that like.
And our support system was super duper crazy at Noah Kai. Like I don't think y'all understand. Like we had the
We had
stadium
the town-
rocking,
the town,
Bro,
the
I
whole
remember. I
was with
just
every
got
game,
insight,
like-
man. I remember I was at the time I was failing math class. I wasn't gonna pass it. Math was just not my forte in high school. It just was not. I couldn't pass it for nothing. And the teacher, I think it was the teacher. She brought me to the hallway. She said, "Look, you're not gonna pass. You're just not getting it." I'm like, "I feel you." So she had something set up for me. She was like, "Look, I'm gonna take you out of this class so that you have the GPA to still play second quarter." I might not have had a GPA for the second half senior year. Nobody knows that story. But because she took me out, I think I had like a 2.5. That F would have put me down. I mean, even if I had to play, it would have been like a 1.8, like just barely.
But
You know,
she
know
wanted
I
to
wanted go
ensure
college.
that you was.
She knew I wanted to do certain things, so she was like, "I'm gonna take you. I'll put you in Apex." At the time, it was Apex. You had to go across the hall, the computer joint. Hey, people know what that is in our guy. And yeah, man, like
Crazy
they had
that
our
happened
back.
to you. That happened to me too.
And you was in there.
Right-
I think you was in there with me.
Right before we lost our first game, Keys called me like, "Yo, you off the team?" Like, you know, I fell below that 1.7. You know, I'm at school, bro. To be honest, I didn't care about school. Like, I just wanted to play ball.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know, I was kind of like new
Yeah.
kid on the scene. Like, you know, they put that battery in my back around the town. So like, I didn't really care about. Even in the South, I really didn't care too much about school and what happened after. I just was enjoying the moment. Like, that's just kind of how I live life. So,
Yeah.
but I could say, like, even after we lost, and y'all probably can attest to this, like, going back to school is probably like the worst thing after the FC, because people want to ask questions
Yeah.
and how you feel, what happened, and
don't
who
wanna
caused
talk about
who
that
caused
shit.
it,
And then you know what it is, and
they-
it's like,
and people kind of want
Man.
they try and want to like twist the narrative to say, yo, Matt said it was your fault, and
Yeah.
Matt said it was your, you
chatty
know,
patties around the school.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and you remember when
Yeah, no,
we was
yeah.
out with a couple
Yup,
of the
yeah.
friends, and they was like,
Yeah, they was.
why do y'all think y'all lost? And it was one of them things like, y'all wasn't at the game, like.
Yeah.
Well, for
you know,
starters,
like,
I'm gonna say this.
Everybody-
again,
you know what I'm
everybody
saying?
plays
So
a
it's
part of
like-
why we lost. I think it's just the whole coaches. We all play a part. I think though, coming in as far as like, and you said this earlier, Strap. You know, I remember I was talking to Coach Eason, and he was like, you know, one, we messed up with the starters, and I remember it was Germ, Tommy, Zaire, Roy, and then it was honestly between Strap, me, or AJ.
Which was.
And I said,
which
you know,
was
listen,
insane.
I'll come off the bench because, you know, Strap should start. He's a shooter. I'll come off. And for me, I know when I come in the game energy-wise, it's turned up.
Yeah.
So it was like, let's make a system. I felt when you started AJ, again, nothing taking away nothing.
Yeah, AJ was hooping,
had a
though.
great game against
AJ
Wilson.
was hooping.
He had a couple
Yes.
great
He was
games,
doing his
but I
thing.
felt
But
that
again,
he's never played in that situation. Remember, he just transferred to North High that year, I think. So
Yeah.
I felt that you put him in a championship game against the number one team in the conference. I can't really blame him because he's a junior. He doesn't know. You're starting him because he's a 6'4" big man, but yet he has no experience.
But again, that falls into that category of
Right.
he made a coaching decision in Wilton
Yeah.
to play AJ.
Way too fast.
No. But the Wilton decision as a coach, he made it, and it turned out great.
Great, he was
AJ
balling.
He
AJ
had
had
a
a
double-double.
AJ had a crazy game.
Yeah, he did.
He did what he needed to
And
do.
he stood on business against another team. Like,
It was
Yeah, I think he
before.
had two good games.
Yeah,
Two
it was
great games.
before though.
Yeah, he had
but
two good games.
he made that decision Wilton game.
Bassett.
Just because you
My
make
boy.
that decision in the Wilton game doesn't mean it translate to the team he never touched the court for when the regular season was
Against
around.
West Hills.
Because all regular season, only people who played was seniors.
Straight up. Seven in
And
rotation.
outside of what's his name?
Dre.
No, not Dre. Tyreek.
Tyreek. Yeah,
Tyreek
right.
Reek got in for a quick second a couple
And
times.
that's another person I think
Should have been playing more.
Reek, man, as a
Yeah.
freshman.
the ceiling was so high for Reek. Like,
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
If he was touching the floor more during our 10-0 run,
man.
when we got to that point, because Reek, he would have been beneficial to us
100%.
for sure.
I think
Because
the
it's like
issue
when
with Tyreek, he more, you know, it was a ego thing. You know, like,
yeah,
and I think
sure.
it's with all of us. We don't like anybody talking to us crazy, no matter who you are. Like,
Yeah.
that's just where we come from.
Yeah.
And our different walks in life. Like, so, me personally, ain't nobody talking to me crazy. You know the vibes behind that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have something to say, and if you feel like you could get out of line, but you just gotta. That comes from being a player, and then a basketball player, and then outside being a young up and growing man. You
Yeah.
know you gotta be able to, you know,
Take
balance.
it to the
Yeah,
chin sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
You,
Got to.
Yeah,
but I understand, you know, Reek's approach and.
yeah.
But I felt like his season, I felt like his ceiling was so high, like
It was.
so, and it showed throughout the years of him playing. But you know
Yeah.
how it go.
Yeah, later. Yeah, because his next couple years.
Yeah, he was
had
still a
his-
freshman, so he,
Yeah, he was
like
doing
I said,
his thing.
he was doing his
after.
thing.
But
We
that little.
Yeah, we
aspect
didn't
of
we
it,
didn't have a lot of guys to go to late down the stretch. In that type of atmosphere, you know, I came off the bench and I felt like I did my due diligence. You know, as far as the team, you know, I had 11 quick ones. You know, and I'm not gonna lie, I went cold. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
we're not gonna negate the fact that Jeremiah just got off. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a 40 piece.
and Rel hit some big shots against us. So, you know, playing in that type of atmosphere for everybody is just y'all was there. The energy is unmatched in there.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's loud.
yeah. It's
The whole city's watching.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Multiple
So
because it was literally, it went from McMahon Norwalk High to just Norwalk, and then it went from West Hill, Stanford High, Trinity Catholic to just Stanford.
Yeah, so it was
versus
Stanford
Norwalk.
literally.
And then
Yep.
like much respect and all love to Bub. Rest in peace, rest easy.
Straight up.
Absolutely love Bub.
Yep.
Bub was one of the realest ones as far as coaching that Norwalk had. And coming off that, going into the championship, for the people who played under him, it was like definitely a tough thing on our back. Not to say that, Stanford ain't had their stuff, because I don't know what they had. But what we had on top of ours was we ain't been there in X amount of years. Like since 1990 something.
Yeah.
That's like, that's a
95,
minute,
96,
yeah.
something like that,
That's
yeah.
I think
20 years.
I think Tommy also got hurt.
Yeah.
In the FCX.
Yeah.
Plays a part.
The championship.
Yeah,
Like
to
Tommy
the
was a
fourth
huge,
quarter.
super huge role.
Oh.
I think Jerm might have got banged up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it just kind of affected everybody else's game. And
Yeah, and their roles.
yeah, exactly.
Tommy had a role
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
big, and he
Super.
played it. Because
Super.
if we're going by numbers during the FCA game, boom, first quarter tied 13-13. Every other quarter we led them.
Yeah,
All the way.
we were winning going into
yeah,
the fourth.
Going into the fourth, we were leading them, and they didn't really have an answer. Like Jeremiah was doing his thing, but it wasn't to the point where they could get that lead back. And then the fourth quarter, well, going into the fourth, Tommy got hurt.
Yeah,
And when Tommy went out, the game was different, completely different.
Yeah.
But the energy that we had and the momentum going into the fourth, Tommy wasn't. It's just a different game, I believe. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say we
100%.
win, but I'm just saying that it would be a different game because Tommy
He was definitely
an X
controlling.
factor.
Yeah, he was definitely controlling the room.
Yeah,
Like,
and like big ups to Jeremiah as the high level caliber player he was.
yeah, that boy was cold.
Yeah,
That boy cold. I
Son
ain't
was a
gonna lie.
problem for real, but Tommy was a general in that motherfucker.
Yeah,
like
most
for
definitely.
real.
He's controlling that route.
and it's I think it's underlooked, and I want to give Tommy his flowers as being like best point guard I done played with. Like I loved Tommy as that's my boy. I love Tommy.
100%.
I remember
That's his.
fall league, he was really
Yeah,
controlling
Tommy.
that
Yo,
shit, bro.
Tommy
Can't lie.
had
Yo-yo.
Tommy had our
He was
offense
controlling that route.
in what he wanted it to be in,
Facts.
and nobody was speeding him up. Nobody was slowing him down, and I think that was a nice clash of guards.
Yeah, because Jeremy was
Because
playing it
Jeremiah was doing his thing as the best player in the conference, and then Tommy is leading that floor, letting them know, yo, like you ain't rattling me, like I'm here.
I think Tommy that year, Jeremiah was definitely the best player that year, player of the year, all that. But I think point guard, I think Tommy was the best point guard that year, hands down. I think that, my record shows it. Just the style of play he played. Tommy, I was looking at stats. I think Tommy averaged like 2 or 3 assists a game, and maybe he averaged 2 points a game. But it showed that the thing is, Tommy, people don't understand when Tommy played JV, Tommy was bucket. Tommy was buckets, bro.
Yeah,
But Tommy switched to a point guard because he has guys like Z, Strat, of course, Roy. He had people that could score. So
Yeah.
he's like, look, I'm about to just run the point.
Mhm.
It was a dog, and not even just run the point. I mean, Tommy, he's still the ball like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And his
Play
deflection was
D.
crazy.
yeah. His passing lane
He averaged
game,
like 3 steals a game. He
his
was
passing
nuts.
lane game was crazy.
Yeah.
And another person I want to get they flowers to as far as home games. Yo, Jerm was that nigga at home.
Jerm was a dog.
I ain't even gonna hold
Jerm was
you.
a dog.
Like
Yeah.
at
He
home,
feeded off the energy.
Yo.
Jerm had to average like 17.
bro.
Feed
At
it off
home,
the-
son.
That boy
Germ-
didn't miss.
Yeah,
was
when
pulling
we
that
had,
shit.
when we at the
Straight
crib,
cash.
Germ is in there letting that clip
Let
go,
that shit fly.
and it be knocked down. I'm like,
Jerm was serving.
yo, Germ
Germ was
game
turning.
outside when we home, Germ was on it, and then Roy was just
Yeah, you gotta shout out to Roy,
Yeah,
bro. Like
Roy.
that's probably the best player in like my whole basketball career I ever played with. Like
Easily.
as far as teammate wise, like
yeah.
I never seen somebody as dominant as Roy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Calm at
Yeah.
that.
And
and-
not look flashy.
and y'all
Yeah.
see how Roy was in practice. Like
Yeah.
he'll walk around the school. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
just-
Like he
Yeah.
he
just
ain't
on
even
chill
practice
mode.
sometimes, but
Yeah.
like Roy, he had it.
Yeah.
And
big.
I think
ups.
he knew he had it, and he had the edge on. He was unguardable, bro. Like if we on any scale, he could shoot the ball. He could go to the
Yeah.
post. his poise was immaculate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like Roy was never rattled. He carried.
Yeah.
You know, he carried us a lot. A lot of times where we didn't show up, and
Yeah, for sure.
even in the FCIs, he carried us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He kept it. He tried to keep it as close as he could for us, and we just didn't. As a team, we just
Yeah,
didn't.
we didn't deliver.
We didn't finish.
Yeah.
I think
You
if
know?
we didn't have, like you said earlier about egos. I mean, I remember after that, I believe after the Danbury game, that really was when Eagles hit. You know, Eagles in games against like that.
Especially on TV.
Wilton. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if it wasn't for the Eagles, what could we have? You know, and I always say this to people think I'm crazy. I remember I told Roy this. I was like, Roy, I think honestly we had the type of team we could have played Oak Hill and gave him the business. I don't know. I ain't saying we all win, but I think we would have run for our money.
We
He
had
was like,
some
what do you think?
dogs.
He said, you down play sitting against Oak Hill, Big Red? I said, nah, but I think we would have made a run though. I think we had that type of team, you know. And you gotta understand, it wasn't just a lot of dudes just played high school. We played AAU, so we seen some guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We beat some people that we ain't even about to say.
Yeah.
We beat some talent. So
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, with our team and just the chemistry we had, cause see, it's not always about size, it's about chemistry. I didn't see teams that were small can beat some real top dog team because of the chemistry.
It's confidence.
It's confidence.
Confidence
Yeah,
behind that.
confidence. I mean, we was 6'2",
Yeah.
playing against like junior, playing against the people that's 6'4", 6'5". Like we really we can really do it. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about like what you want, what dog you want to bring to that fight.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, granted, you should be bringing it all the time, and you know, feel me? Like,
I think
know,
after our first loss, I think everybody was kind of like, like,
it was rattled.
yeah,
it was definitely
we
rattled.
definitely got rattled.
We
I
was
felt like
rattled.
we lost like maybe 3 out of
Like
the
3 out
next
of 4
5
or 3 out of
games.
5,
Everybody
yeah.
was about self.
After that
Yeah.
loss, and it was just like, what do we do? We just couldn't figure out what we was doing wrong.
'Cause we fin-
It was
Beyond
it was,
egos,
That
we
time,
just-
but that time there was real ego issues at that. Like, once that happened, we had literally trickle effect of ego.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Speaking
Like,
of the Eagles, I want to ask you something because I know that you know, obviously, you know, MJ, you played varsity all 3 years, sophomore, junior, and senior year. No doubt about that. And I know that Keys did not always treat you the best. We keep it buck. I know you failed off that year.
Senior year?
Going into yeah, senior
I
year.
didn't feel senior
You
year.
didn't fail off senior
No.
year? I thought you told me you failed off.
That was junior year.
Junior,
Yeah,
okay.
year.
That wasn't the second.
That was
That was the
junior
second
year.
year? Okay.
Because remember sophomore year I hurt my back.
Yeah.
Then junior year I failed off.
Okay.
And then senior year was
Do you think
Okay.
that? Do you think that you? I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. Do you think that you should have played? And if so, how much time? And do you think you should have even started some games? That's what I want to ask you. Confident.
confidently, yeah, I definitely 1,000% know I should have played.
Okay.
Now starting, that could be up for debate, but you know, like I said, our start fall league, summer league, our starting lineup, I feel like it was highly effective. It was Strap, Z, me, Roy, and Tommy, because obviously Jerm wasn't there because of football, Devontae wasn't there because of football. You came off the bench still. You loved that role,
Okay.
and
That's a fact. I did.
I mean, you fellas played with me during the fall league. Y'all tell me if y'all think I think I performed at the level I was supposed to when we played West Hill. I took 2 charges on Jeremiah. Like you feel me? I remember
I remember that.
game-winning plays I
Yeah,
made.
Yeah, I
You
remember.
did.
Those
I
was,
had to think about
that was
that.
actually no, that was big.
Yeah,
that was
it
big
was.
plays for that game too.
Yeah, one of them was
that
late
was-
in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and it was to get into OT after, and then the other stuff happened. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah. To answer both your questions,
That's fair.
And then like you said, junior year, I'm sitting behind guys who I know I'm better than. Thomas Arduino. No offense to Tommy if he sees this. Thomas Arduino. Chris Morowski. No offense to I know I'm better than those guys.
Mhm.
I sat varsity junior year behind people getting playing time like that. So I'm thinking, if they getting playing time as a senior for their senior years, how the hell I'm not gonna get playing time for my senior year? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then first game of the year against McMahon, the last time I'm ever gonna face our crosstown rivals again. I get put in the first quarter, don't make a mistake, get taken out within 2 seconds, and never got to touch the court again. And so I mean, yeah, I 1,000% believed I should have played, started some games. Yeah, why not?
I I think that's fair. Okay.
I believed I matched up well with, and I remember you told me, Keys even told you if I went to any other school in the FC, I would have started or gotten playing time. So he's telling one of our players this, why the hell at your school you not playing? But you saying if I go to any other school I would start and play. What's the difference between your school?
I think with that statement, because he did say that to me, I think he's, in that statement, it was broad. Because every school, not every, but a couple for sure. Summer League, I definitely liked where your role was. Because
I love my role. I have fun playing.
And I say this because, like, we don't have Germ, and, you know, Germ's playing football this time, and D Knight's playing football. So now I'm playing perimeter more. He can be down low, and then Roy can be spread now.
Still do Roy
So
games,
it's better movement, and then Strap's wing, Tommy's coming down, so it's a better conducive offense for us. Like, if you see what I'm saying.
No, for sure.
I didn't see any problem with it, but also at that time, y'all gotta remember we had Baez as our coach.
Coach Baez.
We didn't, you know, Keys wasn't coaching us. Baez,
He couldn't coach.
and,
He couldn't coach.
they can't, obviously.
They can only scout.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Baez we had practices with him,
Yeah.
and he had us playing a different style. If y'all remember, how we played summer league was not how we played regular season.
No, not at all.
It was
Night and
it
day.
was definitely a different scale of our play. Like, we had more freedoms and opportunities to mess up and make it up. With
Yeah.
Keys, even with me, and you know, I mean, parents probably saw it. If you came to our games, you probably seen it. But with me, I was behind Roy as the second best player on the team, I would say, right?
Yep.
But my mistake threshold was very small compared to like somebody like Jeremy. My threshold was low, and that, in that essence of it, it caused a lot of turbulence.
Yeah, it did.
It caused a lot of turbulence with me, Keys, and
Jeremy,
shit,
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Just because I couldn't understand the fact that, you know, I'm a returning senior, I'm a returning varsity player, and I'm coming on. You know exactly what my game brings to this team.
Yeah.
Like, what you see is what you get out of me. But I also make mistakes because I like to try things. And in that trying things, it could turn out good, it could turn out bad. Roy was a really laid back, do what he normally does, and he's like, I don't want to say he's Mr. Fundamental, because Roy, it's not like he was fundamental like that, but Roy was just
He slowed
real
down the
technical.
game. He
Yeah.
slowed down the
He was
game.
real
He literally
technical,
controlled the game
and
to
he
his own
did
pace.
exactly what he want, and he didn't go outside of that barrier. Me, I would do what I need, but also wanted to be a little flashy, because that's just the player I am.
Spin move on
Yeah,
four, nigga.
yep, you damn right. And
I'm like, cuz, what is he doing?
yep, and I make and I.
What's up, Tank, bro?
Yep.
What are you doing, man? Like, what was that?
No, but sometimes he,
man.
like he said, that
And then-
ass is making it.
And
though.
then I make that left hand layup, and they be like, they ain't got nothing to
Dapping
say
you
off
up,
it.
right?
Yep. But it was times, where I'll be like, I'll do some shit like that, and then my ass is out.
Yeah, no,
But I
he'll
knew.
take his ass
But in
out.
certain times, I understood it. But it was a point, and I'll bring this point up, and y'all know what I'm talking about when I bring this up. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. When we was playing at New Canaan.
Yeah.
And you know, I had a couple mess ups, but these was open layups. I understand that. I understand. No. Hold on. I'm about to clear it up real quick. I had open layups. There was two, and I just fumbled the rock coming up twice. Two missed layups, y'all. Listen to this. Two missed layups, right? Cool. And I knew in my head, I was like, shit, I might be coming out. I was like, all right. And then I looked over. I'm like, I don't see nobody coming. I'm like, okay, I can fix this. Then, I get more possessions, and I had a couple more mistakes, and I was like, okay, I'm okay if he tell me you need to come out because you wildin'.
Yeah.
My problem with it was when Roy said, yo, take him out. Son immediately moved to the bench. Like, he beelined. Yo,
Go get him. Go get him.
go get him. I'm like, yo, what? Like, what happened?
Like he was God.
Like yeah, like is he the coach? Like, you should have been made this decision, because like I knew in my heart of heart and in the head, I knew I was coming out at some point because I was fucking up. Yeah, for sure. I wasn't mad about that, but I'm like, son, you.
What made it funny is Keys put his hand down.
He was tight with all of us. He was like, I ain't do nothing.
Nah, it was just because it was like, yo, everybody like telling me I gotta chill. Like, it's just like, put yourself in my shoes in this moment.
Yeah.
Everybody telling me to chill out, and my teammate is telling our head coach, take me out. Mind you, I still understand I'm messing up, but it shouldn't come out of his mouth, and then you beeline to the bench for that.
Maybe it was like the assistant coach or something, but it's
my
teammate.
It's my teammate coming, and then like, you know, he's like, oh, yo, chill out. I'm like, no, like, fuck you, fuck everybody. I was hot. I was hot.
You know how he treated Roy though.
Yeah,
but it was more because we was playing New Canaan, and it was like, yo, it's a close, like, it was closer than it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So the niggas was really like, damn.
Yeah, and we got it out of there at halftime.
Yeah, we came out.
Yeah, I torched him.
Yeah,
I
you was
torched
actually,
him. I
you
actually
was
torched
killing
him that day.
No, he was killing later. Like,
I torched him that game.
I thought he had. Yo, it's funny because I'm like, because the LIU scout was there, and I knew the niggas was there for Roy. I'm like, yo, I think because the Strap was on the bus. I'm like, yo, Strap might be going.
yeah, he might have got a look off that. Yeah.
He might
I think that was the day we had issues with their fans.
Yeah,
or their supporters.
When you had to
know?
pull me on, pull me on the bus.
And we
Remember
couldn't
they was
even,
waiting
you know
for
what I'm
us
saying?
outside
Like,
the
we
line.
couldn't
I
even,
remember that.
Yeah,
they had to grab all our stuff.
Yeah.
And then we had to go to the bus and.
Yeah.
Well, maybe now, it was a black dude at 18. He was wilding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you fuck.
Like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be with us.
It was crazy. It was actually really.
That was wild.
It was a lot of. It was a lot of different
A
energy.
lot of
Bus,
turmoil.
that shit was
A lot of
cool.
turmoil.
Yeah.
They wanted to beat us bad, so it just.
Yeah.
You know?
They fans were super disrespectful.
Talking. Wow.
Super disrespectful. And it's like, after, what was wild is like, you feel me? Like, where I come from, the shit they was pulling was like crazy. Like, y'all remember we was on the bus and they was throwing rocks and shit at the bus
as we leaving.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, if we anywhere else, like, we off the bus and it's on, period.
Yeah,
like,
up.
and I don't care who out there, because at this point, all of y'all is trying to assault everybody on our team, throwing rocks. Y'all in the hallway talking crazy in our face, like, y'all in
Nigga, they
y'all
was waiting outside our locker room.
y'all in y'all school with all this
It's
hostile
only because
energy.
we was in New Canaan they was
Yeah,
acting like that.
it was just
If they was in Norwalk, they would have ran to the bus and got straight to New Canaan. But since we was in, they know that if we do something, we was gonna.
Yeah, oh,
It would have been
was,
the fans trying to beat them up.
Yeah.
Like, cuz, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Straight up.
it was a different energy.
Way different energy.
That thing was a
shit
different energy for
that shit
sure.
would have me mad.
But those type of situations happen, and you know, you just gotta do your best to be a man about it and
I feel like that just
take a
goes
step
into
in the right
like,
direction.
what we really went through in those first 10 games, though. Like, I don't think everybody really understand what was behind the scenes, like shit like that, like you said, locker room shit.
And honestly, let's even go back further for 1 second. Like, the first 10 games we won, I mean, even take it back, like I said earlier when we first came into the school, like, you know, sophomore year, I think really was like, man, we about to be nice senior year.
Yeah.
We had, literally, I remember the FCI game, playoffs. We played at Trinity, Zaire, Roy, Germs.
Yeah, we had young players. We had
Like, you got 3 sophomores starting in the FCI playoff game. You have me, you have Tommy on the bench. You have sophomores on the bench. Like, yo, they about to be tough.
Yeah, we had.
So we already was predicted to be good. Like, we knew that. I mean, we about to be nice.
I mean, junior year we was supposed. They had us ranked like number 2 team, but then we just ended up going like 9 and 11 or something, 10 and 11, I think.
Yeah, because of what we did the previous. Because we was nice. So I
But
we went like 13 and 5 in the regular season. It was tough.
We were supposed to be nice junior
We were supposed to be
year,
nice.
We lost a lot of close games junior year.
If
close
we're being
games.
honest, like, you wasn't here for it, but
Yeah, facts.
our junior year, we were still a good threat team.
Yeah, we was.
Because, like, you know, when we played Central, And shout out to Tyler Ingram. Homie was a dog.
Yeah,
Homie was a
Tyler
dog.
was
We gave them a real run for their money
did.
at their house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
And-
big.
and
Mind you, they were
Bridgeport.
big that year.
Yeah.
I think they had
Yeah.
some.
Shaquan was like.
Yeah, and I
6'4".
forgot about Shaquan.
Yeah,
Shaquan was another.
Shout out to him,
Shout out to
too.
Shaquan
I mean, he
too.
was tough. And Tyler, I mean, let's like.
Tyler
was a
led that
dog.
helm. Tyler
Yeah,
was
he
that.
was nice.
Tyler was that other guard that I would put in my as
100%.
leading the team.
Yeah, he was
Son did
facilitated,
it. Son did
got
it to
buckets.
perfection because you get to states, y'all win like
They won
FCX
and
twice.
States that year.
They won FCX
Well,
back to back, and then he
and
got
then
one
they-
state.
and they
Yeah.
You
won
know how hard it is
state.
to even win FCX? You get two
Yeah.
back to back, and you
And
get
the
a
end of
state.
state.
Like,
yeah,
he-
they was going
Flowers
crazy.
to him real quick.
They was doing their thing. So like with that, with how they played that year, and then
Yeah.
we're playing them, we're giving them that run, and they only beat us by one. Then we got
Yeah.
The
Greenwich.
Greenwich game at home.
Greenwich
where
at home.
You know why we
And
lost
then-
that.
Yeah, it was
Some stupid-
bad decision by players late because we
Very
had the
late.
lead. But it's like we held them to below 50 points.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
and
That
CJ
game-
Bird was a dog.
Yeah, and
Yo, this
that-
kid came out of nowhere.
those were probably the two best defenses
Nah,
in the
yeah.
FCX.
He
that
was
year.
6'1".
Nah,
Kid
CJ, yeah.
can
Yeah,
fly.
CJ.
You would think, man.
You thought?
I mean, this kid, he wasn't there. We didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who he was. He
Yeah.
he played in like the band or something like that.
Yeah.
Kid came and was
Played in
just.
the band. It's crazy.
Yeah, he
No,
was
for
nice.
real,
though.
though.
You think he got bounced?
Yeah,
CJ
Nah,
was.
CJ was
He'll jump and look in the hoop and drop the ball in.
CJ, and he was like real. He was real methodical as a point.
Yeah.
Like he didn't go outside of his game. Although I remember it was one time. Remember when we played AAU, and it was all of us, and we played that team.
and we beat them.
And shout out to Kobe, Ingram.
Whew.
Kobe went at
torched him.
Kobe went at
torched him.
CJ.
It doesn't take nothing away from CJ Gaines.
Yeah, no,
But
nothing. But Kobe,
shout out to Kobe Ingram, man.
Yeah, Kobe
another
went-
tough player that played for Bassett. He played in the playoffs. He did his thing in
Yeah.
the first half, and we took the lead. But Kobe was definitely a tough player.
yeah, like Kobe went at him, but CJ, another top player, and they beat us by 2, and that's our junior year. We're a young team. These is both senior
Seniors,
teams
yeah, senior
this year.
teams.
They should, not. I wouldn't say they ran through a lot of other teams,
Yeah.
but West Hill that year, West Hill beat them that year. They beat Central,
Mhm.
right, by 1, I think. I'm almost positive, and then I think they might have
That
lost
was
to
a good game. I
Greenwich.
remember
Yeah, they
they
lost to
beat
Greenwich.
Central junior year.
Yeah, and
Jeremiah
CJ
had like 41.
and CJ had a good game too.
Yeah.
CJ was playing a real good game on Tyler, I think, or no, his boy. I forget his
Yeah.
name with the glasses. I forget his name. He was the shooter. He was another smaller point for
Okay.
Central.
He had like a little afro.
Yeah, he might have at
Light
that
skin?
time. Yeah,
Yeah, at least almost.
yeah. I forget his name.
Yeah, he was quick.
Yeah, he was
a quick little
good.
guard.
And CJ and
Right.
him were matching up. It was a real good matchup for the guard position. Where you got Jeremiah versus Tyler, and then you got CJ versus my man. I forget his name. But that matchup was real good, and then West Hill ended up beating them by like 2. But you see, the following year we lost by 1 or 2-1 to them. West Hill beat them, and then we're playing West Hill in the chip the next year. So things fell into place.
Listen, man, that junior year, man, was probably. I mean, senior year again, we were definitely tough, but junior year, man, was probably the toughest year. Junior year, you had a lot of talent. I mean, even remember that dude from Danbury? Damn, that black guard. Our junior year. He was tough.
White,
Who?
yeah.
What's his
yeah.
first name?
I forget his first name.
It was like CJ White or something like that.
Nah, it was White. His last name I think was White though.
White.
It was a black. He was this real skinny,
Yeah.
but
He
he was
was
cold.
skinny, yeah.
He reminded me of Jordan. I don't know
He
why.
could dunk his shit too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had
yeah.
crazy. The sophomore year he
Yeah.
came.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that? He came down the court?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. What's up? But yeah, man. We had a lot of good moments, man.
How, real quick, how did y'all feel about our coaching? Did you feel that our coaching got us to where we were, or was it more of
That's what I
a
said.
team chemistry thing that
I just felt like early on, like we were just more or less, our talent you know, and you know, our resilience throughout the games kind of like carried it, whether it was bad coaching or not, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of things that they could have did different to prepare us toward the end of the season. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the guys weren't prepped, so we couldn't go as deep as we wanted to.
Yeah.
Guys like MJ, the guys weren't playing, so
Yeah.
it was no reason not to. We were blowing teams out.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You could
You could fit
even
it
we
in,
we
yeah.
really didn't even have to blow teams out, and we would win games.
Yeah.
But you could funnel players in
Yeah.
and
for sure.
just get them that run, that
Repetition.
up and down, that
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So
get comfortable with the
yeah,
game.
just to get the feel, like
Yeah.
so. In that aspect, it was just. And then there was moments where guys were sitting on the bench, like, you know, some key guys were sitting on the bench. Situational. Even if I had to come out the game, it's not an issue for me, you know. But that's just something. You know, coaches ain't perfect, you know. That's
No,
why they
yeah.
coach. You know,
I think-
you got to learn
Yeah.
situational. So
I think
Alright, go
that,
ahead,
you
yeah.
know,
'Cause
when
I
it
was
came to
gonna
coaching, again, you know, I coach now. So I
Yeah.
definitely see, like, well, okay, this is, you know, you got parents saying this and that. And
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure.
Mhm.
I think that we, you know, Keys, again, there's things that he did that I'm like, okay, you know, he's a good coach and he looks out there as far as, like, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of coaches, as far as, like, when it comes to grades and stuff, they never don't really look out for their players.
Yeah.
Keys, while getting his flowers on, he always made, like, he'll text you, like, in the middle of class, like, yo, listen, you got a D. I got you extra work. Like, he would come to class and
Yeah.
like, he'll take
We had
all
the
the work.
study halls
Yeah, he
before
made our study
practice
halls. He would
and
give us
shit.
bagels before the game. Keys
Yeah.
definitely was a good coach in that aspect. I just think that when it came to really crunch time, he didn't have the best decision making. Now, for our coaching staff,
Our
Coach
staff
Collins
was
Grove,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it was
and Coach
great.
Eason,
Was-
they were
Shout out to them.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think that our
100%.
talent definitely was like we were just the team we had. It comes every like 15, 20 years. I mean, we had a
Yeah.
really good team, but as far as coaching staff, I mean, no, like we had a really good coaching staff. Again, Keys,
Yeah, I
some
think
some ways he was okay, but I think the other three definitely, especially Coach
shout
Eason.
out to Eason,
Yeah.
Cosgrove, and White.
And
Yes, Sirski.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Keys as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
100%.
you still was
And
our
honestly,
head
I
coach.
would even say shout out to Coach George too. And honestly, shout out to Coach Cliff. People know who that is. He's a real
I remember Cliff.
Because when I first came in, that was Baby Jordan. That was real. That was real talk.
You know.
So those coaches definitely molded all of us. And again, you know, give flowers to everybody. You know, we're all older now. Listen, you know, we're gonna have our opinions about Keys and other coaches, but at the end of the day, you know, listen, players gotta play. I tell my kids all the time, listen, at the end of the day, I can tell you, I can give y'all a play. We can run 1-3-1. You gotta have the energy. And I think we were just dogs, and we just went and got it. And in today's day, I would say this real quick: the kids today don't have that.
Yeah.
They don't got that dog.
Yeah, I think it's because
You know?
of so much internet stuff.
Yeah.
It's real.
Kids is baby, man.
They baby
Baby,
nowadays.
man.
It's highlight based.
They're not doing tower slides, man. They're not doing that.
And that was one thing. Coach Keys did have like a great workout program for like
Remember the stairs?
the
We
stairs.
used to cheat.
Bro, we used to, God, that shit used to be crazy.
Yo, talk about that real
You gotta
quick.
run up 4 floors.
Yeah,
then run
remember when you
all
and
the
Tommy
way down.
cheated? Tommy was like, yo, I couldn't tell y'all, but honestly, I'm like,
Yo, cause I got caught. The nigga, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take one for all y'all niggas. I'm like, yeah, I was the only one doing it. Don't worry.
no, let piggyback on that real quick. Do you think that and in the time when you was texting and
But no, I
practice,
was doing shit like that. Because,
do you think that affected your playing time?
No, cause bro, the shit. I started doing shit like, bro, don't
do that.
bro. I started doing that after he wasn't playing me. When I brought my phone to
But that's what I'm
practice,
saying.
That was like the 6th, 7th game of the season. And I'm like, I don't.
Still, nigga,
But
but
yeah,
25%.
Yeah, I hear you. But I'm
75.
nah. Listen, I
wild.
definitely. Yeah, oh no, I was. I'm texting in practice. He said.
He's
and
like,
then-
whose phone is this? He's like,
He was charging the buzzer beater. I
Yo,
was scared.
I was charging that shit.
we doing
I had
a
that
game
shit
He
with
said, "We're on the line." I think this.
a game with a scenario.
Yo.
And he talking about, oh yo, I'm coming over after.
I was. Yeah, that shit was funny. Yeah.
Nah, you know what? You know, I'm getting you, Keys. This was funny. I don't care what you say, right?
Oh yeah. I know
Yo,
you're talking
this is
about.
Hilarious, right? You wasn't here for it because you was gone by this time. But my dad, he came
Word.
to one of our practices on the weekend, right? And remember he was sitting down talking to the whole team, if you remember. He was like, talking to Germ about how to run the point because, my dad played for McMahon, got his state championship.
Word.
He was a dog. But he was talking to us about how we can be a really great team. And, he's giving us a spiel, and then, he finishes the conversation, and my dad stays. And he's watching us start our practice, and I forget what we started with, but we started with something, and somebody messed up. So Keys had us running the laps around the gym, right? And when we started running the laps, Keys was like getting pissed. He was like, yo, he's like, I can't fucking believe y'all would do this shit. I'm sick of this. What the fuck? Yo,
He kicked the
ball
basketball
back
rack.
over.
Yo,
I
we
never
was
laughed
screaming.
so hard.
And I remember him
Say where
laughing
he
too.
was
You know, Z got
showing
that. You
off
know, Z got that loud laugh.
He was, yo. I was running next to Roy. I started
rolling like Keys.
I
That's
was
not
like,
you.
Please don't do that.
And you know Roy, he just like,
Yo, I'm sitting here falling
Yeah.
over, running laps.
Yeah,
around.
you
Running
stupid,
into the
man.
door.
Oh my god, that was your funniest feat, Keys. I swear, funniest feat. Like that's no shade. It was just super funny. But
what were the funniest moments that I
When
had?
this nigga threw the fucking jawbreakers. You
When?
know what I'm talking about?
When?
On the bus, you threw the little jawbreaker candy and it pop Keys in the.
Yo, no, the funniest. But I'm gonna say this.
Remember that.
This is the
You
Coach
was
White.
wildin'.
I remember when I think we was all hanging on the bus. You know how we used to hang and stuff. And I think Zach White had jumped in it. Armani says about Armani's fingers or something like that. And Zach White said, and I think Armani said, you only play because your dad.
Dad,
Yo, and
yeah,
Coach
yo.
White turned around and said, hey! Me and Tommy was screaming.
He said, you only play because
He said, that's enough. Nobody
Yo.
talk no more. Yo, I
that
was like,
was
yo,
funny as
wow.
yo, we had some.
Our
great
bus
moments.
rides was crazy.
Our bus. I think that was like our greatest moment.
MJ be hanging, Eddie,
Yo,
Yo,
everybody.
everybody
we was
catching it.
flaming. Yeah, that shit.
Like, those were some good times.
We really should have had footage on just everything behind the scenes.
That's what I wish we had had.
That shit would make it so much
nobody
funnier.
did that back then.
Yeah,
Nobody
that-
was doing
yeah.
It'd have been a nice little.
Way more funnier.
Because it was in the spur of the moment. This is when
Yeah.
this is when we was on a 10. After that, we wasn't hanging no more like
We
that.
wasn't talking no shit. We was on the bus quiet.
Yeah, bro.
Because the last 10 games we went like 5-5, right? Finished the regular
Yeah.
season 15-5.
Yeah.
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 So it went from
bad.
10-0 to
It was
50.
nothing,
Yeah.
it was nothing alive to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah,
Like,
nothing.
crazy.
We was upset.
Yeah,
One
I'm-
team and everything. But
I honestly enjoyed like through all the turbulence and issues that I had. I still also D Nice.
shout out to you.
Shout out to D Nice.
Only player to me, and this is out of all the senior, because I definitely had my moments of ego. He's the only one that bought in. I mean, this is a kid that, didn't care if he played a lot. He did play a lot. And I think he should actually even got more playing time, in my opinion, because he's such a great role player he was. I mean, D Nice would play the 4 at 5'8". I mean, how tall is D Nice?
Yeah.
And would bang, and he had the biggest heart. And I thought that, that stood out to me the most. I mean, again, all of us are great, but I think D Nice was the only one that did not have ego. And he didn't care if he played or not. D Nice did not care. He was just, us. We would be like, man, I should be in the game.
Yeah.
25 minutes. What is this? You know what I mean? But he was the only one that was like, listen, I can play for 10 minutes as long as we win. I wasn't even that humble. Listen, that wasn't me.
D-Nice, but D Nice,
Yeah.
D Nice's IQ with us,
Word.
being that we played at the Carver,
Yeah.
and him knowing what we're gonna be doing as players was like why D Nice was so beneficial to the team.
Facts.
'Cause you
Yeah.
just plug him in real quick. He knows like, all right, yo, is he catching on this fucking fast break? He going coast to coast. Like, let me just trail, get this rebound, or D Nice will have a specific cut in a half court set. That's a layup, easy layup.
And he was a lefty.
Yeah,
So
easy
he already knew
layup.
where he was going. He
Yeah.
would bang for rebounds. He was just a great player, and he was smart. He had great IQ. He would make great passes.
Yeah.
Jax had a great IQ. You know
I
what I
want
mean?
to shout out my boy Strap Dizzy. You know that?
Yeah.
Strap was a killer. That's my boy.
That's my man.
Shout out my guy MJ for sure.
For all the hand claps,
He was there.
Yeah.
I was like, this.
He was there. He
Yeah.
was the one. I say this right. The one thing I think that and this is because I feel like you were at a younger stage. It was more buying into your role, even though Keys was minimal on the playing time. I think if you stuck around longer, you would have got your opportunity. And it's cool.
Yeah.
It's past now, but you get to talk about it, explain how you felt about it, and you want to talk about it at some point.
And I'm gonna say this really quick too. Again, MJ made his decision. It is what it is now. It's all love, brother. We're here. But just for the younger guys, if you're ever in that type of situation that you're not playing a lot and you just feel discouraged, don't quit. Even if that whole season you get no playing time. We hear stories about we see guys playing. We're so social media driven. I mean, you got guys like Kobe Bryant. People don't even know this. His first 2-3 years in the league, he wasn't getting playing time in the Lakers. People don't know that. They just know about the 3 championships him and Shaq won, but they weren't talking about when he first got drafted. AI, Tracy McGrady, they all were playing. He spoke about this. I saw this thing. So, everybody plays a role. Everybody does things. You know what I mean? There's games. Listen, even though I played, there are games. I remember when we played Stanford High, I didn't get a lot of playing time that game, and I was pissed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't know when. You're gonna go. You're gonna go through things. Just because you feel like you're this and that, that might not be your game. That might not be what he needs. And even if you think you should play, listen. Sometimes that can just be a humbling moment for you, man. You have to know. Listen, if you can't go through adversity, how do you expect to go D1, D2, D3? So players out there, don't quit when you're going through things. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And this conversation is to educate you guys on. If you have a good team, buy into your role.
Yeah.
Make it your priority. Like if you're here to rebound, my
Be the
boy,
best at it.
you're gonna be shooting in the gym today. All right, cool. You know what? I got you with 13 tonight. Make sure you put up them shots. But I'm gonna get my 13 for the team because I want to win this game.
Facts.
And the trials, tribulations, and issues that we dealt with are out here. So you guys can hear it to understand that you're not the only person dealing with it. And we got through it. We didn't have the outcome we wanted, but we still got through it. And we made the best out of what we had for the rest of the season. And it's just important for the young players. You guys just watch it, take what you want to take out of it. I understand everybody's not going to take everything we said as, I don't agree with that. And that's cool.
Yeah, eat the meat, leave the bones. Take what you can and you run with it.
Yeah, I like that.
Eat the meat, leave the bones.
Hey,
Listen,
Paul.
everything is not. Pause on that. Y'all listen. Y'all know what I mean.
Y'all heard none.
Y'all know where I stand. Listen, eat the meat, leave the bones. What that means is
As he says it again.
Right. I don't say pause because for me, I know how. You know what I mean. People like to say pause. Eat the meat, leave the bones, man. What I mean by that is because you're not gonna take everything that we're saying. Some players might be like, listen, I don't get what he's saying. They better play me, and that's cool. But I'll even say this. Even though I play high school, I think I had a better college career. That's just me. I averaged more. I played way more roles. I was more effective. And that's just to say because high school we had a lot of guys. When I played college, our team was good, but we hadn't had a lot of players that played varsity. It was a JUCO, so it was just kind of like smash, and it's like he knew players that played in that type of atmosphere, me and this other dude, things like that. So again, man, all around, take what you can from this, guys. The younger players, even players that's still in college. I mean, players that coaches, take anything from this, because coaching is hard too. So again, I love y'all, man, and I'm glad we were
sure.
Getting perspectives from us being those players that used to play. You get that perspective for coaches. From a player's point of view.
Right.
This is sometimes what they be seeing. But I want to give my boy, the guy who put this
Brian.
together,
Oh, man.
Brian Gracie, his flowers.
Listen, man, appreciate
Always,
y'all,
man.
Much love.
Listen, I missed the game. This is horrible. We're talking about 10 years. I never thought this day would come, bro.
It's ugly.
It came fast too, bro. It seems like we just was on that podium, graduating all together. We obviously all the same class, Seems like that shit was 2-3 years ago, and like you said, that shit's literally damn near 10 years
and
ago.
One more thing before we close this thing. Listen, take your time. A lot of players, I can't wait to give a credit and go to college. Okay, that's all cool and all. Listen, Take your time,
Yeah.
stay with your brothers. And one thing I think we did not do enough, and I think that's what kind of messes our chemistry up in ways, is we did not hang out enough. I think, especially the day of the game, if I could go back in time, even if I had to skip a class, I would have ate lunch with my brothers. And I feel like we did not. I feel like we were all distant. And it happens. We had our own friend group. It's cool. It is what it is. But one thing I will say against the younger players, bond. Don't just bond on the court and in practice.
bond
outside. Even if y'all got to go outside on Saturdays and shoot, like, I'm telling you, that makes a difference. But listen, man, we're running out of time. Much love to y'all. I love y'all so much. And we hope we can do this another 10 years, whatever. I love y'all, man. And yeah.
Definitely love y'all, man.
All right.
We out of here.
Yes, sir. 20.